Alright, let's talk God Save Birmingham. The developer and the publisher are both being done by Ocean Drive Studio. I think they're Korean. It's a Korean team, and then their publisher is in the United States, I read. But yeah, let's dive into the about this game. Also, there's not a release date yet. It's speculated for 2026, but you know, that's just speculation, and we'll just have to see. But I'm very interested for this game. I love zombie games, probably the core of who I am. I always love a new take on zombie games. I just feel like this one looks different. I like how you're slow and you're bogged down by being thirsty and eating and all that. But yeah, so about this game. God Save Birmingham is a zombie apocalypse survival game set in the 14th century, Birmingham, England. The early access version will focus on a sandbox mode utilizing a small portion of the town. The full town will be available at official release, with a campaign mode coming later to complete the experience. Alright, the end has come. A strange plague sweeps the countryside, transforming men into monsters and cities into slaughterhouses. You are one of the last survivors of Birmingham, alone against the shambling corpses of your former friends and neighbors, with only your wits to protect you. Alright, nourish the body. Even after the end of the world, life goes on. Forage for supplies, craft tools and weapons, and set out on that hunt for food, water, and shelter. So that's kind of cool, because you'll see in the trailer that he goes back to a certain place and he gets a little drunk, eats some cheese, perfect. And then zombies bust in. But I guess you can I wonder how that's gonna work. I wonder if you're just gonna be able to kind of just board up some windows anywhere and be like, alright, this is home. But yeah, the horde is always near. You just gotta keep that in mind. Master medieval physics. Wiggle your way out of harrowing situations with physics-based mechanics. Oh, that one gave me a hard time. Mechanics that reward quick wits and skill. Stack furniture to barricade doors. Keep low fences to trip your clumsy foes. And sever limbs to reduce the undead to angry, wiggling torsos. Perfect. Just be careful not to stumble over a bucket while fleeing for your life. I don't know if you guys have ever played Exanima, but I think that's what I'm gathering too, is why this game is going to be pretty cool, is it's going to be a lot of physics based, so you're going to be tripping over shit, it's going to be hilarious. You're probably just going to have a good time just running away from zombies, which I think that is an art in itself for game dev. Let's take a bite out of history. Explore a carefully reconstructed 14th century Birmingham in all its bubonic glory. Whoa. Stop by the markets or forage plots to forage for resources. Raid boarded up smithies for tools. Grab a drink at the nearest tavern, and explore historic architecture at the Church of St. Martin in the Bull Ring. Yeah, so the early access version of the game will contain about 1/4 of the entire town, with the rest coming between now and full release, which is expected for, early access games, whatever. There's something I wanted to go back to. Oh, yeah, this part right here. Stack furniture to barricade doors. I don't know if I'm just silly, but I have never seen that in a zombie game, and it's like that's the first thing anybody would do. But yeah, so they thought about that. They're going step by step. They're doing good. But yeah, so that was the about this game. There's really not too much on there, but there is one article. Oh, actually, I have one quote and one article I wanted to talk about. So the quote is, "We're actually trying to work with Birmingham Museum team to ensure we recreate medieval Birmingham as authentically as possible in all its grandeur, grime, and everything in between." But yeah, so this article quote actually came from God Save Birmingham Heads to Birmingham. So the team actually went there for inspiration, and I think that's always a great first step. That's what the Cyberpunk team is doing, I think, for 2077, whatever, Cyberpunk 2, I guess. I don't know what you would call it at this point. But yeah, let me bring up that article. It's a devlog, and 2025 plans, Ocean Drive Studio. Alright, let me full screen this. Alright, so it says, hello, I can't read that name, I'm sorry everyone. But he's a programmer and a creative director of God Save Birmingham. So this guy's pretty high up, and he's talking to us. What a nice guy. But he says, we've been working hard on God Save Birmingham since we first introduced the game last year. Today, we'd like to tell you a little more about it and share our plans for 2025. Perfect. A short description of God Save Birmingham would be a zombie apocalypse survival game in a medieval European town. When I first played survival games like Don't Starve or Project Zomboid, I found it difficult to survive even a single day, and the experience of overcoming such a difficult environment was very memorable and satisfying. My hope is that we can create a game like that brings a similar experience to fans of the genre. So when you step into the world of God Save Birmingham, you'll find yourself in a truly desperate and challenging scenario. One of the game's unique characteristics is an aim-based strike system. Yeah, so that is something that Exanima actually has. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's exactly what it's called, but that's really cool. So you're gonna have to be aiming, and if you slip up because you're drunk or something, or you just misclick, could be the end of that playthrough. But anyway, battles with zombies are intense, but the other survival activities won't be any easier. I don't know if they elaborate on that, what the other survival activities would be, but we'll see. Zombie apocalypse settings are one of my favorite across any media. Yes, same. But while there are a lot of different games that feature zombies, they're not often that classic, so slow walking kind that I like the most. The terror they create as the horde closes in, the tension as the crowd of them grabs and holds and goes in for the bite. These are the thrills I love the most about the genre. It's tricky to capture that type of enemy and bring them to life in a game, but we're embracing that challenge head on. Which with that boarding the doors up and the windows and stacking benches and stuff, physics, I think they're in the right headspace. I think this is going to be quite a unique game. But another unique feature are zombies' procedural grappling system. Huh, interesting. So yeah, if you kind of look, their arms are like flailing, and procedural in this context, I guess would just mean like it can handle basically any kind of situation that you, the character, the player, are putting them into. So they're gonna be able to grab you a lot easier. Probably think something like RE2 remake, but maybe I dare say just a little bit better. I guess we'll see. But one of our goals from the beginning was to recreate an entire town in a virtual space and build apocalyptic survival gameplay around it. We put a huge amount of time and care into achieving the right historical feeling and geographic scope. Sometimes that's meant compromising on our loftier ambitions, as we're a pretty small team, but we're confident in our ability to deliver a setting with the kind of depth and size players have come to expect. We ultimately choose to recreate a medium-sized city in medieval Europe and researched a bunch of them. In the end, Birmingham in the 1300s fit the criteria we were looking for. You may have seen Birmingham or other communities like it in other media with a more fantastical tone, but what we're trying to present is something that reflects a grounded, realistic picture of day-to-day life in that time and place. In our research, we've strived to be as faithful as possible to the location and appearance of the various churches, manors, village centers, and other infrastructure that existed in Birmingham in real-life history. And that obviously is probably why they went to Birmingham, to really get a real grounded idea. We're also working on to recreate the typical household items, food, and tools of that time accurately, or as close as we can get within reason, to really convey the textured feeling of what it would be like to try to survive a disaster scenario back then. Also, I guess one thing I should have started out with too is, I feel like you don't see a lot of zombie medieval games. I talked about it in my last video for a second, but I've dabbled around in Unity, and that has been one of the ideas I've kind of wanted to try. I think that's it kind of slows everything down. If you like the kind of shambling zombies, I think that medieval is like a perfect setting and timepiece for it. But anyway, let's get back to it. A bed of straws offers a comfortable place to rest. Yes, indeed. We'll be releasing a video soon to share what we've been working on, and we're planning to showcase the game through game shows or other channels so people can have a chance to experience it for themselves. We believe that there are a lot of people out there who are both fans of zombie fiction and nerds for medieval history like we are. And while the game is still in pretty early stage, we're really looking forward to the day when players can get their hands on it, explore the world we built, and share feedback that can make God Save Birmingham even better.